The upcoming open world zombie survival game that has both PvE and PvP elements is now arriving on December 7th. Now, Fntastic, the developers of this game, have shared some brand new screenshots of the original gameplay of what we're going to be finally able to see on December 7th. Now, as you can see, there is this brand new screenshot which basically shows two of the vehicles that was already shown in previous trailers, and it seems like it's pretty much the same location that was shown in the first ever trailer that was used for the day before's promotions. And everything that I'm seeing as of now on my screen, it seems like the graphics are heavily downgraded compared to what we saw from the original gameplay trailer that was shown all the way back in 2020. But even with the downgraded graphics, I've got to be honest though, usually when it comes to indie developers, they always try to do their best when it comes to graphics and stuff, but then at the end of the day, when the final game comes out, it usually turns out to be heavily downscaled. And the reason why is probably because they don't have enough resource in order to optimize the game. And another big thing that you guys need to keep in mind is that this game is still in its early access, which means that this is not the final product that we're going to be seeing once the game fully comes out as a full launch for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Now, as of now, the game is only going to be available for Steam on December 7th, only for the PC players. Now, the second screenshot we have here, you can actually see one of the city gameplays where there's this one zombie which looks very furious, and we also have plenty of normal zombies here, and it seems like there are going to be different variations in zombies, and that's probably for the best because, you know, it's going to make the survival element much more realistic, and it seems like the zombies can actually run faster in this game, so they're not going to be dumb. You will have to up your game in order to survive in the world of the day before. Now here, once again, the graphics looks great. I'm not going to complain. It actually looks pretty good. And then we move on to the next screenshot here where we can take a look at the gym, one of the facilities or the main head office or the main base of operations, pretty much like what we've seen with Tom Clancy's The Division, where we had this base of operation building where you could go inside, interact with multiple online players, and most likely it seems like your player is going to be able to upgrade their stats based on the kind of workouts you do. Most probably you're going to build muscles, so you are either going to stay fit or most probably your character can also become fat in this game. That I'm very curious to see how all of these working out gym sessions are going to be related to the gameplay in general. And we also have one of the final screenshots which is shared, which actually looks very good in terms of one of those socialized locations where you can hang out with other online players. You can most probably just group up with some of the randoms, and this is one of the places where you will not be able to do PvPs. So it's basically this base of operations where everyone you see around here are basically friends. So the game probably has some sort of a storyline that is single player aspect for each players, but then it's similar to The Division where you go out in the dark zone and then all the players are pretty much just dangerous. They can kill you or they can just be your friends, or you can do whatever you want. It's completely up to you depending on what type of loot that you're going to be carrying in the game. The other players are going to be deciding on whether or not they should attack you or just be your friends. So it feels like the game is going to be creating a lot of tension between players, and it just gives you that adrenaline rush anytime you're trying to do the PvPs because you don't really know on whether or not if you can trust this online player, or maybe you should just be very cautious, or who knows, even your own teammates could turn on you. So things like that is something that just makes survival open world zombie games extremely interesting. Now this is something I really wanted to see with The Division, but then, you know, Ubisoft, they never really got to understand what the fans really wanted. We really wanted that zombie game mode, but that was never available. But then the survival game mode that Division offered, the first Division game, was absolutely fantastic. I loved it, but then whatsoever reason, they decided that it was just going to be this limited time event, and they never added it back. It was one of the best game modes that Ubisoft had to introduce in the Division game, and I think they've taken a very simple formula from that game and they've just implemented and created a whole entire game, which I absolutely believe that gamers are very much going to love this. Now, like I said, if you compare the screenshot and if you compare the first ever gameplay, there is a naturally massive downgrade when it comes to graphics. I don't know if it's just some sort of a filter, or maybe Fntastic decided to, you know, go ahead and edit the screenshot out to make it look more cinematic, because I see a lot of film grain that is being added to the screen. So I don't know if it's just my part of the screen screen that's showing me this way, or most probably it's the same for all of you guys? And let me know in the comments down below. Do you guys think that the gameplay graphics and everything is downgraded from what we saw in the first gameplay, from what we can see in the screenshot? Now also, if you take a look at the mud terrain here, in the first ever gameplay reveal, you can actually see that the car tires are going to be interacting with the terrain. So anytime you drive a car in these muddy areas, your tires are going to be going inside the mud and you will actually see a lot of dust. And the mechanism was just extremely realistic. I was just mind blown when I saw that for the first time. But as far as what we can see from this screenshot here, it just pretty much looks like the car absolutely has no sort of trails, or maybe there is some very minor details here that you can take a look at, but then I don't think it is the same as what was shown in the first gameplay trailer. So if you take a look at the first car here, which is going ahead, you can also see that the first car never really left behind a trail of tire marks. So that kind of makes me curious to see if all of those things are actually downgraded from the game. Now again, you got to keep this in mind that this game is still in its early stages. It's still in its early access. It's not releasing as a full launch. And sad news for all the console gamers out there is that you guys will have to wait for a little longer, because the game is not going to be releasing in its early access stage. It's only going to be releasing on consoles for Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. When the full production is done, when the game is finally fully ready to be launched, that is when it's going to be coming out for the consoles. But until then, December 7th is when the early access gameplay is going to be available for all the players out there. So you'll probably have to purchase the game. We don't really have the price list of the game yet. I know it's almost time, and I don't know, for whatever reason they haven't really announced the price of this game yet, but we'll find out all of those information soon. And another really cool thing that we can actually take a look at is the official day before has actually went on, and as a celebration for their upcoming release of this game, Mytona and Fntastic are now showcasing its official trailer in the hearts of New York, in one of these Times Square buildings. You can take a look here in one of these Times Square buildings. They actually have the trailer running from Fntastic and Mytona that you can see the day before is actually being shown off. So it seems like the devs are really confident in terms of what they're going to be presenting to the audience here. So I'm really curious to see, since they are this confident, you know, they just went on and put their money into all of these ads. I really want to see what this game is all about. I can't wait for December 7th. I will share more information with you guys. Now, of course, a big thanks to Fntastic and Mytonia for inviting me for the early access to be playing this game on its early access. They provided me a key for the game. I already have the game, by the way. It's already activated on my Steam, and I will of course give you guys my full honest opinions very soon on December 7th. I will also be uploading so much more raw gameplay so that you guys can take a look on how this game looks like when it's completely maxed out in its graphics and ray tracing settings. I will be putting all of those videos on my second channel, and my second channel's name is actually pretty simple. It's Blackwoods 2. Yes, that's right. I will leave the link down below in the description as well as in the pinned comments. You guys can go ahead, subscribe to my second channel so that you guys can get notified as soon as I upload all of the content that is coming out for the day before. There is going to be so much more role-playing content, entertainment videos, let's plays, gameplays, and man, it's going to be filled with a lot of funny entertainment content. So make sure to go ahead, subscribe there, and I will also be doing some reviews out here on this channel. So make sure to go ahead and subscribe to this channel, turn the notifications on, and set it to all. It's absolutely free to do it, and at the same time, you guys are going to stay updated every single day. And with that being said, if you guys are excited for the day before, make sure to go ahead, drop a like on this video, show your boys some love. Your love and support, it really means a lot to me as a creator. It helps the videos out, it helps the channel out, so your support is really appreciated. Now with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Until then, take it easy, fams, and goodbye.